fresh QuickBooks start in 2026. Are you ready for a fresh start? I know many of you are starting your bookkeeping business. So in today's video, we want to go through a checklist for you to get a good firm foundation so that you're not chasing money, you're not chasing numbers, and you're giving clients a great value for the work that you're doing for them and helping them grow and build their business. Because in January, it will be a very busy month. We have tax time coming up. And even though maybe, like myself, you don't actually file taxes for business owners, for contractors, we do file their W-2s and 1099 and some payroll related tax forms for them and making sure we've got all the payments in. In today's video, I wanted to take a step back. Let's go to your QuickBooks Online that you have for each one of your clients. And what we want to do, the first thing is we want to review that chart of accounts. We want to make sure that we have all of our bank accounts in there. We have all the bank accounts. We have the credit card accounts connected. And we also want to make sure that we have reconciled all the bank accounts and credit cards that we need to. We want to make sure we have our products and services in that will be on the profit and loss or your balance sheet. Make sure that those are in. And also, a lot of people forget is your cost of goods. So review what you have in your cost of goods and the transactions that you have connecting to your cost of goods, and see if you need to add some more accounts in there or even take some out. If you're not using that type of income, then we want to take that out, or that type of the cost of goods expense, then we can take that out. The same thing goes with your income accounts, the different types of income like retail roofing, metal roofing, shake roofing, roofing repairs, woodwork, guttering, any of those things, and just make sure that you have enough transactions going to there where that account, it makes sense to be having an individual account for that. If it doesn't make sense of having that, then combine a couple of your accounts together and put that together as one. A good example for that would be if you had less than $1,000 a month expenses in a certain account, or in income, if you had less than $30,000 or $40,000 or $50,000 of that type of sale coming in, then you could put a couple of those accounts together and merge those. It will make your profit and loss statement look a whole lot better, have more clarity, and be clear to the contractor exactly what all of these expenses are. And then we also then want to go to our overhead expenses, especially our advertising. If we're using Google, make sure we have a separate account for Google. We have a separate one for Facebook. If we're doing SEO advertising through Job Nimbus, make sure we have a separate one for that. You could even have whatever we're paying through AccuLinks, if that is connected to advertisement in any way, make sure you have that as well. So those are some important ones in the advertising category. But then go over all your expenses you have for insurance. You would have workers' comp, you would have general liability, you would have auto insurance. Make sure you have your restaurant meals with clients, you have that in a category, your auto expenses in a category, and then, you're going to have a much cleaner profit and loss with that. In your balance sheet, you're going to be looking over what loans that you have. If you have any that have been paid off in 2025, then we are going to make sure we have a zero balance and we've reconciled those loans as well. and even know at the end of the year how much we still owe on any of those loans. So we know whether or not we can afford to buy a new truck or we can buy some more equipment for the business, because that could be a question that your contractor may ask you if you think that we have enough money to invest in another vehicle or in another piece of equipment. So the chart of accounts is going to be the first thing, and then go back over your products and services and make sure you have all your products and services organized there, all your income. And I only do income and products and services. If you start putting expenses and products and services, it's going to be confusing for you. So I wouldn't recommend that, especially if you're just a beginner. So you do want to take a look at your products and services, and keep in mind the products and services you have in QuickBooks. That will also be in the Roofer's CRM, Job Nimbus, AccuLinks, Roofer, whichever system that they're using, Jobber. Any of those systems, it's going to be in there. So you're going to be syncing and mapping those together. So that's another good one. And then take a look at your QuickBooks, your dashboard itself. Make sure you have all your favorites set up. At the top are the things that you use the most, and as you go further down, the things that you use least when you're looking up different things while you're doing the bookkeeping. Your bank transactions, for me, that's always at the top. And I do always want reports at the top too, so it's easy to get to. And if I'm showing a contractor where to go in QuickBooks, that they can easily get there as well. So always keep that in mind. We're setting up QuickBooks that's easy for us to move around in, but also when the contractor gets in there, that they can easily find everything. You can really help your contractor with that, and it helps you along at the same time. And then you also want to make sure that you're getting all the W-9s for any 1099 contractors. So this is a good time of the year. In December, I like to go down my accounts payable, my vendor list, and look at all the contractors' names that I have and make sure I have their federal ID number or their social security number so I can get a 1099 to them. Our employees, we automatically have that. We can't run payroll without that information, so it's always in there. For you, your checklist, and you getting ready for 2026 with your bookkeeping business, be sure and look at your chart of accounts, look at your products and services, then your dashboard, and then any reports that you need to take a look at. So that will be something that you can be working towards in December too. And then please, if you would like to join our community over on the school, the Fractional CFO Accelerator, that is free, and link will be in the description. And then I'm excited on January the 6th that we will be starting our boot camp, an 8-week boot camp, where I will be taking you from the beginning all the way to the end of building your bookkeeping business, including QuickBooks, behind the office things that we do that nobody sees, and using the experience I've had, the things that haven't worked and have worked, and teaching you those things. And then also your pricing and getting clients for your bookkeeping business. And then I have both VIP and general admission. As a VIP, you have the opportunity to share your screen, and then we can take a look at your QuickBooks for a client, and then just make sure you have everything set up correctly. And if you have any questions to any errors in QuickBooks, then you'll have the opportunity to ask those questions and we'll solve it right on the spot for you. But it is not a hot seat, so don't get nervous about that. It's only something to help you, and it's voluntarily. If you want to do it, you can. I do want to give you that opportunity to do that. So we'll be doing that. It's a very small cohort. So everyone will get a chance to do that. That's why this time for the boot camp, I've made it really small. There is only 10 students that I am accepting into this. Everyone has a chance to really learn, implement, and hit the ground running by the end of February, even by the end of January, because that is our busy season. So I want you definitely to get on the ground floor with that. Thank you for today. And if you do have any questions or comments, please put those in the comments. And I really appreciate you watching my channel. It's really encouraging to me. Please join us too with other bookkeepers and our fractional CFO Accelerator. We're having new bookkeepers come in there every day, so you have an opportunity to meet with a lot of different bookkeepers. And there are roofers in there as well, so you can possibly find yourself a client once you get through our boot camp. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.